What do these two items have to do with modern day basketball? Well, believe it or not, the first hoop was actually a peach basket that looked something like this. And basketball was actually first played with a soccer, according to Basketball, How It Began, facts and information about the game, on the Next College Student Athlete website. I'm certain that not everyone taking this course plays basketball, even though it's the most played sport in US. According to over 26 million Americans play basketball, found on the Sports and Fitness Industry Association website. This is a representation of basketball being the number one played sport and baseball, which is the number two most played sport, barely being over 56% of that of basketball. As someone who has played basketball for over 15 years now, I believe it is one of the most fun things to do with your time. However, I do understand that not everyone knows all the basic rules of the sport or how to dribble and shoot properly. Today, I would like to discuss the three fundamentals of learning to play basketball. We shall discuss the rules, the basics of dribbling, and the essentials of shooting. Let's begin with the first step in learning how to play basketball, the rules. The National Federation of State High School Associations, on its website, explains the rules of basketball that we have maintained throughout time. The ball may be thrown in any direction with one or both hands. The ball may also be batted with one or both hands. The player cannot run with the ball without dribbling. That is called a traveling violation. No shouldering, holding, pushing, striking, or tripping in any way of an opponent is allowed. The first infringement of this rule by any person shall count as a foul, signaled like this by a referee. A foul is also striking the ball with the fist. A goal shall be made when the ball is thrown or batted from the ground into a basket and stays there, providing that those defending the goal do not touch or disturb the goal. If the ball rests on the edge and an opponent moves the basket, it shall count as an automatic goal. When the ball goes out of bounds, it shall be thrown in by the first person touching it. The side making the most goals in time shall be declared the winner, which basically just means the team with the most points is declared the winner. The National Federation of State High School Association also explains the rules that we have failed to maintain throughout time. The first one is the ball must be held in or between the hands. The arms or body must not be used for holding it, which is allowed now. And the second one being, if either side makes 3 consecutive fouls, it shall count as a goal for the opponents. Today, it's not an automatic goal counted. For every foul, the opponent shoots free throws rather than 3 consecutive fouls being an automatic goal. Now that you're educated on the rules, let's introduce the first step in actually learning to play this sport. The basics for dribbling a basketball. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, on its website, states the fundamentals of dribbling a basketball. The CDC says to bounce the ball on the floor with your most dominant arm. When it comes back, use your fingertips rather than your palms to stop the upward motion and push it back to the floor, keeping it about waist high. Once you've mastered dribbling in place with one hand, switch to the other one and continue to move around. That way you get the gist of it. Practice keeping your eyes up while you dribble. The tendency for anyone learning how to dribble basketball is to focus his or her eyes on the court, kind of like this, so that they can watch the basketball hit the floor and bounce back to them, according to Stack.com. Stack.com states that all dribbling drills should be practiced with your eyes up on the court in front of you. This is especially important for 2 reasons. Here's a representation of the court, in which a player should be dribbling, looking at the entire court from baseline to baseline. The first reason for this is that you are able to see the entire court and will more easily get an open teammate or scoring opportunity for yourself. Second, you will turn the ball over a lot less, as you can see any defenders coming towards you from either side. Now that you understand how to get the ball up and down the court without traveling, let's look at how to actually score points. The essentials for shooting a basketball. The correct form for shooting a basketball is your foot being aligned with your shooting arm, slightly in front of the other, and they should both point towards the basket when you are ready to shoot. You should tuck your elbow and line it up with your knee, your shooting knee on the same side, and don't shoot at the rim, shoot up over it. Here's a representation of that. Coach telling him keep his knee tucked in, aligned with his shooting knee, his elbow aligned with his knee, and both feet pointing towards the basket. And you should be shooting up over the rim, according to Basketball Training Guide of Men's Fitness. The Journal of Sports Science and Medicine, in its article, Increased Distance of Shooting on Basketball Jump Shot, explains how the arc of the ball should travel, which is basically the way when it leaves your arm till it's way up and into the basket. With the view of the ball over the rim, as is represented here, they depict how you have a 90 degree, which is a very good chance of it going in. With the view of the ball more at an angle towards the rim, it depicts how it has a smaller 45 degree. And finally, with the view at a very different angle, you give yourself only a 22 degrees in order for the ball to go in. What this is portraying is that the higher the shot, the better chance it has in going in, and the more degrees it gives you to go ahead and take a look at the basket from the top view. Basketball is an extremely fun sport that entails only 3 fundamentals and can easily be mastered with a sufficient amount of practice. In my introduction, I noted that more than 26 million Americans play the sport of basketball, more than any other sport. However, I did not believe that all individuals in our course are completely familiar with the rules or dribbling and shooting techniques. I hope that the information I have shared today will help you next time you consider going out on a nice day and picking up a basketball. If you don't quite pick it up, the sport, the first attempt, don't quit. Michael Jordan once said, if you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. Thank you.